Catus Maximus here. This is going to be a short video because it's about an AllTrade, just a very yucky roundhead ratchet. The reason I wanted to make a video is AllTrade back in the 90s, I think is when that name came out. They made mid-grade Taiwanese built department store tools, and they were like okay, and it seemed right around the 2000s they just decided that they were just going to be a junk brand and pretty much turned to all Chinese, just really low quality tools. And you can see that plastic switch, tons of play in the anvil, just a real yucky ratchet. And they don't even use a spiral spring or retaining ring. They're just using a split one, which is actually, I'm going to recycle the metal. I'm going to keep that split ring because that actually can be handy for me for certain applications where you don't want the thick spiral ring, but it is cheaper because it's just a stamped piece of hardened sheet metal with a little notch cut in it. So really evidence of how cheesy this ratchet is. The big issue is that it's the spiral ones, you have something to grab and remove. Something like this is actually much more difficult because you have the darn thing spins around. Usually what I do is let me show you. Really what you have to do is either you have to use like 2 screwdrivers to try to pry it apart and get, or maybe a screwdriver and a pick. It can be kind of a bear. On a ratchet where you have some access, what I'm going to do is use some parallel gripping pliers. Just like this. I'm using those nitpick wrench pliers. That way I can attempt to get under this ring. Actually, it's better to grab real close to the gap. That way you have the most amount of extra spring on the other side so you can have a little bit more flex to try to get under the darn thing. And try to get the darn thing out. And voila. Surprisingly enough, something like this can be very difficult, and then just the right tools and a little bit of technique can make it quite easy. And as we expect, it's just a single rocking pawl, 3 little teeth. There's actually an undercut, so this ratchet is not designed to run. The handle is unidirectional. It can only run on one way or one side versus the other, because the way this has to inset, it won't fit in, which is kind of odd. It is odd because it's actually a little bit more expensive. Anyway, just a terrible loose ratchet. This is what the mechanism looks like. Anyway, just wanted to do a video about one of these ratchets because I haven't done an AllTrade, or at least one of these cheesy AllTrades, and it just adds to my database of ratchet videos. Anyway, I really appreciate everybody who's been watching and subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Till next time, Catus Maximus out.